Shall we begin?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the More Than Just Keto podcast. This is season 2, episode 4, and I am one of your hosts, Molly.
Hello friends, and I am your other host, Ashley. I want you to think about somebody that you really respect and somebody that you look up to or somebody's journey that you follow that you have found inspiring. And if you go back through their feed, if you really pay attention to what they're doing, most of these people are successful because of a series of things. But one thing that sticks out to me, what I noticed and what I remember from 2 years ago now, is that each one of these people that I have watched and seen their success has carved out their very own path. They didn't duplicate somebody else's success.
Right.
They didn't copy someone else's grocery list and meal plans. Did they get inspiration from the community? Of course.
Yeah.
Did they inspire others by sharing the things that they found and the recipes that they tried and maybe even some grocery hauls? Yes. But each one of those people that I can think of at the top of my mind that has been super successful and that I have found to have amazing success has really found their own way and their own journey.
They found their own groove, right?
Yeah.
Well, one person I can think of with that is you, by the way. Because you and I've talked about that.
That ways too.
We're both that way.
We are.
We have not duplicated or copied other people. We haven't sought out meal plans.
Services like any coaches or any.
Right. We haven't done any of that. And now your photo's been used for some of those, but she didn't do it, y'all. She did not buy the 30-day meal plan.
Them, just to be very clear, I report all of them. Instagram doesn't always take them down. I don't know why.
I know. I don't understand why they don't do that. That's
but
crazy.
If you see them, report them.
But you do get people asking you for meal plans. I know that because you've told me that before.
Yes, I do. And actually my sister joked, I was talking to her the other day and she's not doing keto, but she's just cleaning up her diet and, doing that whole thing. So we were talking about it and I was like, well, you've just got to find something that you love. Don't try to make meals that don't interest you. What is the point of that? If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it anyway. It's just going to cause you to go to your pantry and grab a sleeve of Oreos. So what's the point? And she laughed and she's like, well, you just need to, be a consultant for people. She's like, I know somebody that does that and they get paid to make meal plans for people. And I said, so I could never do that.
Right.
And the reason for that is because it's kind of a moral dilemma for me. I believe that success is something that you have to create, not something that I can create for you. It's not something anybody can create for you. It has to be this little token of want and why that you have to explore yourself. And in doing that and exploring and really seeking the knowledge and educating yourself creates that little core of your journey. And you build from that. If someone hands you the book and tells you how to do it, what are you really learning if someone just tells you how to do everything and you don't actually read the book?
Yeah. Let me say this. I'm just remembering this. Do you know, I cannot believe I forgot this. Do you know how many meal plans I have purchased? I've purchased a lot. I cleaned out.
Really?
Yes, I have. And I'm not even talking about Beachbody. I'm just remembering. I cleaned out my closet when we switched rooms for my son. I cleaned out one of my closets for the room he was going in. I had a bunch of stuff stored in there. And I was going through boxes and I found three books. No, 3 different people's books, because one lady, it was 2 books. Then it was another one of this other girl with a pink cover, and I don't remember what they were called, but it was a pink cover, and she had her workout clothes on, and it was a meal plan with a DVD. And then there was and these were all by the way, these were all in the last 7 years. So it must have been what I did before I went to Beachbody, I guess, because I was constantly searching for some way. I was looking for someone to help me and give me the magic of whatever I could eat and do so that I would
totally know.
lose weight. Just exactly what you get the message. Hey, can you make, I would like a meal plan, whatever. I was that person, and I was looking for somebody to
do it for you.
give it to me.
help
Whatever.
you.
You know
Not
what?
in a bad way.
But listen,
It's good intention.
oh, totally. And it's
For
what they
help.
did for a living. It's what they sold. But
Right.
here's the thing. One of them was never even open. It was still in the plastic. Another one was 2 books that I had never opened. And then the other one was, I remembered this one wasn't in the closet, but this one I ordered online and got it online. Never used it. So how many things did I purchase and never use? So what's your theory and your thought on all that of, you have to make it yourself
There's
in
no
order?
ownership there.
It's so true. I can't believe I completely forgot about that.
That's crazy.
So I wonder if I did that, how many other people are doing that? Buying
Well,
the meal plans.
tons of people.
Clearly buying the meal plans doesn't work.
Yeah, and I mean that's what this episode is about. We know what the people want. You know
We
why?
get it.
Because we've
I just
been
said,
the
how many
people.
meal plans did I buy?
We've been the
So,
people.
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah,
So
we
we
get it.
know. And we want to give the people what they want, but we want the people to go get it for themselves.
Because we know
Because
that's what's
where
going to
success-
work.
That is where success is.
Right.
If you don't build your core, and we talked about this on one of the episodes in the very beginning. You asked the question why 5 times,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I did this to people at work who had just started keto.
Okay.
And I told them the story. I said, this is something that Molly did to me, and I'm going to do it to you. And you have to hear me. I know you're going to be like, okay, I don't know what to say, but I want you to really take it seriously. And I want, every time I ask you why, dig for the answer. And I did the same thing. And
Did anybody else cry?
everybody ends up, no one else cried. Well, there were some moments of whoa.
Like wow. Yeah.
Everybody, well, the ones that I felt were really serious about it, answered, with honesty.
Yeah.
A lot of them got to the point where their why was they don't want to die.
Wow. There you go.
I mean, that's the true core.
It's-
And I said,
it is.
so here's what happens. Your first answer is I want to look good. The second
Yeah.
is I want to feel good. The third is I want to be here a long time. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because I don't want to leave my loved ones. And that's when you see the why? Well, because who's going to take care of them if I'm not here and I leave early?
Oh, it made me cry. It's
so
going to make me
this
cry.
is-
That's
right.
mine.
These are real conversations I
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
said the first why is superficial. It's not the why.
Always.
The second why, you're trying, but it's not really the why. The third why, you're starting to realize that there's something else there and you maybe not have even asked it. I said, what happens is we get to 1 and 2 and we stop. That's enough for us. That's what we
But
do.
that
We
doesn't
don't
keep
ask
us
the next 3
going.
whys. But here's the thing. If you only rely on 1 and 2, you will quit. You never
Yeah.
get to hear. You don't solve the problem. You don't, because you're not living for your why, because you don't know it. You think
That's
the why
so
is the 1 and
good.
2.
Yeah.
But the why is actually number 5.
But you got to
And
get
if you
there.
don't ask number 5 or don't get to number 5 and you live for 1 and 2,
It's temporary.
those aren't actually the answers.
Yeah. Wow. That's
That's
awesome.
the superficial why. That's the ones that get us started. We've got to get to all the way. And that's where, the things of experiencing life and living in a different way.
Yeah.
That's what opens that last little why. And that's I'm living my life. I'm living to my potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't get there without knowing all those
No,
things.
it's true. That's
And
good.
we often stop at those 2.
I love
And
that
so
you
when I
did
did
that. That's
I did that
so
to them, and they
good.
were like, dang. They were like, that's so true. Everybody just kind of sat there huh.
Make you think. Things that make you
Makes-
go,
Yeah, it makes you really reflect on what you say you want to do and why you say you want to do it versus why you actually do or don't do it,
Yeah.
and if that's really your why. And it makes sense of why we fail.
It does. I
'Cause our
didn't even think
motivation
about that. I
is not
love that
understood.
you did that twist on it with thinking the 1 and 2. If 1 and 2 is where we stop. And we do.
Then that's where our journey's going to stop.
You have to take responsibility for your choices. You have to take responsibility
You have to create your
and do the
own-
work yourself.
Right. And that's really
Right.
important. You cannot buy
No,
someone else's success,
we can all eat the same diet
and we will
and
all
we'll
look,
all look different because we are different and we're
yes,
supposed to be different. So you
exactly.
cannot
You can't
duplicate.
duplicate someone else's success. You
Right,
you
right.
can't. It's not
We
yours
have
to
different
have.
needs.
We all have different needs, different
Hmm.
body types, different diseases, different metabolic rates. Like every person
Everybody's
has
different. Hmm.
some people have allergies. I mean, there are just all kinds of different things that can cause inflammation or
Right.
whatever. So the thought that you see somebody with success and you're like, give me your meal plan.
Right.
You don't think that's weird? I want to know what you eat.
It's not, why it's not weird?
It's
Because,
not weird,
and I'll
but
tell you
you
why
know
it's
what I
not weird, because it's normal. It's because that's what the diet culture
Right.
offers meal plans. You
Right.
have a problem, here's the solution, here's the meal plan. All of them. That's what they do.
Yes.
So
This
that's
is how
why
you should
it's
eat. But
right.
is that how you should eat? I
No.
ask the question,
Right.
is that how you should eat?
Right.
Should you eat
No.
the way I eat? What about me is similar? Body style is not enough to just say that person's meals are the meals I should be eating,
Right.
right? How about, and I always ask this question, I've said it a million times on this podcast, what do you like to eat?
Right. Yeah.
When people are like, what should my grocery list look like? Or what should my meal plan look like? What's your
Ooh,
favorite food?
right. Yeah.
Well, I really love, Mexican food. I do too. So I make, here's 10 different things. Like you can just type in Pinterest, keto Mexican food, right? Well, I like Italian food. You can make it Italian. Like
Yeah.
it's the ownership behind the discovery and the education, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
by you seeking the information, you're creating ownership of this process.
Right.
When you do that, it's creating change.
Right.
And that's what we want. When we purchase someone else's recommendations, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with doing a program or getting help. Like I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong, right? With getting ideas. There's really nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong here about any of it, about
Right.
purchasing meal plans. But what I'm trying to say is if you're struggling, if you have had an issue, if you've purchased meal plans and you're like, it's not working, like, I mean, we've all been there, no? Or a lot of us have been there.
Yeah.
If you've joined like Weight Watchers, for example, if you've done any of these things and you paid for it and you're like, it's not working, I don't know why the program's not working or the meal plan or the grocery list they send me, I don't like those things or whatever the problem is. If it's not working, maybe
It's not for
you
you.
need to work out what you
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what's going to work for you.
Because whoever made it, it worked for them.
It worked for them. And it's so personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that people don't have great suggestions. I'm not saying that people that get paid to do it don't know what they're doing. They do, I'm sure. I mean, if they're, a consultant for this type of thing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a coach or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you're struggling, if you've done all the things and you're like, I don't know what it is, maybe your foundation of where you're starting from needs to look different. I know for
Mhm.
me, this was the first time that I didn't look for someone to tell me what to do. And it
Right.
made, looking back, it made all the difference. It made my journey my own. And certainly getting inspiration from our community is such a help. I'm a huge advocate of, who's eating what. Let's get some ideas. Maybe I don't like this, or maybe I like that, or oh, this person posted this. Like there's
Yeah.
inspiration that you can take. That is different than asking for someone to hand you the answers to the test.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I have both done the plans. You've talked about it before, like you did Atkins and things like that.
Weight
And I've done the
Watchers and
Beachbody. And of course, I just
yeah.
told you I bought all those different meal plans and
So
didn't
funny.
use them. And I do think that I think the reason people do it is because they don't know where else to turn. They don't
Right.
know what to do. And like you said, and it's just so true because again, we're not knocking. We have both done the meal plans.
I've done
We
it,
have
yeah.
both bought into different types of ideas to lose weight.
Programs and-
But
yeah.
for both of us, and this is why we're saying this,
Yeah.
we both found the way that works for us. If you follow me, you know, I always say be your own experiment. I always say that
Yes.
because it's so important, because as you go, things change, things evolve, and it should be that way, you know?
Yeah, because we're evolving, and that's what a journey is. It's not a start and a finish.
Right. When I started keto way back in 2019, I did it a certain way.
Yeah.
That's how I did it. And then I, over time, have changed. I have evolved.
Yeah.
My taste buds have changed. Like, I didn't get a 30-day keto meal plan and then follow that, because I guarantee you if I had, I'd have quit. Because I would have looked at the food just like every other food plan I've ever looked at and went, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Well, I think we're looking for a bailout, almost like a reason to be like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that
if you
definitely
don't give
happens.
yourself that reason, sometimes, especially, I've done that where I've looked through a cookbook or something. I'm like, I guess it's not gonna work because like half of this I won't eat.
Right.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
And I think it goes back to what you were saying before. And I think this really is the magic. You want to know what the magic is. You want to know what this is what you do.
The glitter that explodes from, the scale.
The what?
The glitter that explodes from the scale.
Yeah, here it is. Are you ready for it? Here it is. It just comes to me because we've said it. We've already said it. It's already been put out there. But we're just rounding it out here. What do you already eat? What do you already like?
What do you enjoy?
I like spaghetti. I like tacos. I like hamburgers. I like pizza. I like the all-American and Mexican and Italian.
Yes.
Foods. It's what I grew up on, right?
Yep.
I like all that. Every single one of those
is something
can still be eaten when you are low carb keto. You just change out the pasta for spaghetti. What is it called? Spaghetti squash, right?
Spaghetti squash or zoodles or
if you want a replacement, low carb pasta, right?
They make the low carb pasta. I mean, there are a ton.
And then we got the pizza. Okay, again, now listen clear. What makes a pizza so good is not the crust. I know you think it does. I'm telling you, I thought it did too. I thought it did.
It's how you hold it.
It is all that's on top of it. The carb, the crust, just holds it. Well, guess what? They have low carb pizza crust, and also there's cauliflower pizza crust. Some people really like that.
Then chicken breast.
You know what else there's?
Oh,
I know. I can't get into that. I cannot get into that. Then there's also there's the no crust pizza. Like you just cook
the cast iron pan
right,
pizza.
right.
Yeah.
And this goes on and on. Like Ashley makes her own taco shells. She makes them herself. Then there's low carb tortillas. There is no excuse when it's keto. There are a bazillion excuses with others. For me, I can only speak for myself. Everything else, if you want me to just eat low fat, protein, vegetables, and fruit, it's not going to last because I'm not going to enjoy it.
Well,
but if
I'm
you're
going to be heavy if that's the case.
I'm just going to be heavy.
Can't eat that
exactly.
way.
But if you're going to tell me that I can have everything I just named, I just have to switch out and tweak a few things myself for my taste and still lose weight and still feel amazing, sign me up, honey. It's that like simple,
no-brainer, right?
It really is
like a no-brainer, right?
It really does.
It's so funny.
But that is the answer. Because
I think most of the time people are doing diets that they don't enjoy, and the number one thing
we think that we got to change everything.
You like what you're eating,
yeah,
and people are like,
no,
well, not on this diet. Then why are you doing it? I literally ask, why are you doing it?
Right. Because I want to lose weight. Because I want to lose weight. That's because they want to lose weight. You want the recipe for success? There it is. Keep eating like you are and just tweak things and change them and stay at a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight.
Right.
That's it.
It's the recipe for success is enjoying it.
You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it.
To love what you do and look forward to it. Food is meant to be enjoyed.
Absolutely. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Families together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make food good or bad. You can just say, there are certain things I'm going to switch out. I'm not saying you have to lie to yourself either. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be so black and white. It
Right.
doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can find balance. And in fact, it's much easier than you would think. I've had people
Mm-hmm.
tell me recently that have started, it's like, wow, it's a lot easier and it's very enjoyable. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the key. When people ask, what is it, or why do people get so stuck on this? Because they never knew that they could feel as good as they feel, eat the things that they thought they should were not supposed to
And
eat or
lose
should
the
eat,
weight.
and they're losing massive amounts of weight.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always joke that diet, keto was like the 50, 60 pound. Like that's what everybody drops around as numbers. Like, oh, if you really got weight to lose, that's the diet. You know what it is? It's because people are enjoying their
Right.
food.
Yeah.
And food is meant to be enjoyed. I will always say that. If I don't like it, I won't do it. If I don't like it and I
That's
don't enjoy it,
human.
I will not stay the course.
Which is why
I'm
most,
playing the long game. So my food needs to be looked forward to. I need to
right.
be like, yes, this meal, hun.
But I
I've
think,
never been more serious about my food now than ever.
right. But I think, again, I think it's that programmed that we have
Yeah.
that
Miswiring
how
of
it's
our
always been
culture.
done. When you
Yeah.
want to lose weight, what do you have to do? Restrict. When you want to lose weight, what do you have to do? Diet. What does that mean? Change everything I'm eating now. Not enjoy anything I'm doing.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yep.
That is the wrong answer, because then you're going to do what you've always done and you're going
It's
to
just
quit.
like,
You're going to quit. You're going to quit. Like that's what you're going
grab
to
that
do.
hand and say, stop that. Just
Right. It's time.
stop.
Is that
Stop.
insanity, right? You keep repeating. It's like, okay, so listen to us. Listen to what we're saying. The recipe for success is to enjoy what you're doing. And this is
Yeah,
in
always.
everything, really.
Every meal, every snack, everything.
Right. There's no
Everything is meant
reason
to
you
be
don't have
enjoyed.
to.
There's no reason not to, but also when you love what you do, when you like what you do, when you look forward to the food you get to eat, you don't make the same choices. It
Right.
changes the choices that you make. And you're essentially evolving who you are as a person.
Mhm.
That may seem so crazy. Be like, okay, listen, lady, this is like food. Like, I just want to lose some pounds. Once again, you need to dig deeper into your why first. And secondly, it's important. It's really important because if you
Yeah.
want to be successful long term, do this long term, or just be healthy long term. You don't have to be keto to be healthy, but anything that you do
You
needs
have
to
to enjoy
come
it.
from some enjoyment
Yeah.
that you get out of what you're doing. The process has to be, the journey has to be enjoyable
Yeah.
because we won't continue when it gets hard if we're not enjoying it.
Hello.
And there
Proof.
are going to be speed bumps and there are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be things that test you every inch of the way. And if you don't really love it, then it'll be easy to stray. And
Yeah.
if you find a way to make this sustainable for you because it's something that you're loving and you're eating all the same foods with modifications, because that's all you're doing.
Modified,
You don't
yeah.
have to stop eating tacos. You do not have to stop eating pizza. Do you have to make different choices? Do you have to change things? Of course. But
Right.
what other diet are you going to get to eat the pizza?
I
What
was
other
gonna-
diet are you going to get to eat the tacos?
Right.
What other diet? Because I've never done one of those. And
No,
if
me
I
neither.
have, it's so bland. It's a baked potato and a side of turkey and
Well, or broccoli with
Broccoli.
that's steamed, but without the cheese and the butter. Like,
you know what? Vegetables deserve more respect than that. I'm just saying.
totally.
They deserve to be bathed in butter,
Yes.
sprinkled with cheese,
And
doused
crunch the
with
bacon
heavy-
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Dazzled with bacon.
Dazzled.
Come on, have some respect for your veggies.
Bacon dazzle.
Elevate bedazzled bacon. Elevate your veggies. They deserve it. They worked hard in that
Yes.
ground growing for you, so respect them. I eat way more veggies now than I ever have in my entire
Totally.
life. My kids eat veggies
Totally.
that I would never eat.
Me too.
Even as an adult, my kids eat vegetables I wouldn't eat as a grown up. Like, come on.
The thing is, it's not so far-fetched to think about you have to change something,
Yeah.
right? Because you're modifying, you have to change something. It's not far-fetched if you have come to a place where you're like, gosh, I've gained some weight. I need to lose weight. I'm not feeling good. I need to change my habits. I want to live longer, like we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
Yeah.
You have to change something. So no matter what you decide to do, you're going to have to change something. And before keto, what I had to change was completely clean out my pantry, completely clean out my refrigerator, and get all the things that were supposed to be healthy and that would help me to lose weight. And I bought into it. I did it. I bought the things. I
Same.
did the things
Over and over again.
over and over again. And then later just gained the weight back because I stopped doing it. Whereas I have found, and plenty of people have also said the same, when it comes to living the keto lifestyle
Or low carb, either one.
or low carb, it is not about cleaning everything out and getting rid of everything. It's just about, like Ashley said, modifying, changing some things. The only thing that I definitely have taken out of my diet, there are two things. And I have, again, this is something that has evolved, the second thing, but because at first I really wasn't that interested or cared that much about it. But as I've learned more about what these things are doing to my body, I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I don't want that in my body. It is chemicals. I don't want the chemicals in my body, right? But it's the sugar. Sugar, I don't want it in my body.
Table, yeah.
It is what I saw someone say something so good. I can't remember who it was, but they said, we're making our body a place for disease to form, or we're making our body a place for it to
you're
not
creating
want
an
to
environment to live that is conducive to disease, and the sugar is going to help that disease grow, or you're creating a hostile environment where it can't survive.
Right.
And that's known. I mean, they've done studies on sugar. I've seen that in multiple places.
Yes. So
you're either creating an environment where it cannot survive.
Right. Or you're creating an environment where it's going to thrive.
It's going to thrive.
So if you're
going to
feeling
thrive in disease.
Exactly. So if you're feeding your
every single person,
you're feeding your inside sugar, then
the disease cells, if you are precancerous or you are cancerous,
right,
those cells are going to attack or be fed by sugar.
Right. And I remember now.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And it's someone who recently had cancer. And so she had a surgery. She had it, she had her surgery done and had some things removed. And now the cancer is gone. However, she said she wants to be very mindful, because it's like a crazy, like kind of how you with your taste and smell. It's like you never thought you'd deal with that. And then it's like, well, how you doing? It's this what she said. People say, well, how you doing? I'm like, I mean, I don't know. It's always like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm here.
right. Because like, she's like, I had cancer. Yeah, it's gone. It could come back. Right. So she's like, now I'm really focused on my body being a place not for cancer to want to make its home.
Right.
So I'm doing everything I can to create an environment where it doesn't want to stay.
And that's what they say is, like, especially if you've had a scare, you've had something removed, it runs in your family, you're creating an environment that's a breeding ground for that disease, whatever that cancer is, whatever that disease is, to, and it's kind of funny because, like, I've talked about this when I had my surgery, when I had my infections, I had a surface for that bacteria to grow. And that's what happens. So it's kind of like creating a place that's perfect for bacteria. Well, in this case, it's disease. It's actually feeding those cancer cells. That's what the sugar does. Now, obviously, we're not saying every single person that's, eating sugar is feeding it.
Well, but it's not.
It is something
it's
to
not good for
seriously
us.
consider, because if it runs in your family, and cancer's kills a lot.
I was going to say, I don't know that it's even just I think what we're discovering, it's not just a running in the family thing. Cancer is, it's like,
it's in a lot. It's cancer is everywhere. I mean, it's almost, I don't know what the statistic is. It's like 1 out of 4.
Like my dad died of cancer. Right. Nobody in his family died of cancer. It didn't run in his family. My grandfather died
of cancer, lung cancer.
Well, that's what my dad had, lung cancer. Yeah. But it didn't run in his family. His dad didn't die from lung cancer.
Right. Definitely.
So it's like.
Right. But I'm saying, what we're saying is, we know that those people definitely need to be aware.
Right.
Like common knowledge is, hey, if you're predisposed, there are some studies that have said, hey, what we're finding is that nobody should really be eating this stuff.
They really shouldn't. I mean,
keto's really opened my eyes to that beyond.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not just like, it may be common knowledge, like, oh yeah, it feeds cancer cells, but I don't have cancer. It's like, yeah, but here's the thing, but you don't know if that's going to be you.
And so what are you setting up in your body? What are you
What kind of environment are you
You creating. Are you creating? Because you're
Right.
creating something and it's your
It's a
responsibility
choice.
and you're doing it. You're setting it up. And yeah, we can't control what happens to us. I get
We
that. And
cannot.
sometimes
Yeah.
people get sick and it just happens.
Yeah.
But I also know this, and this is what I've always said. Well, not always. I've said it since my dad died of cancer and since I learned that sugar is not good for us and it loves the cancer cells. Like it feeds
Yeah.
it, like you're
It feeds
feeding
them.
your
Yeah.
cancer cells.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I want to do that? I'm not going to add to
I
it.
don't want to. I
I
don't
would
want to
like
create an
to,
environment where it can
right.
thrive.
I would
I
like to
am.
do everything I can to try and stop it. Now,
Exactly.
if beyond that it happens, hey, you know what? I did everything I could. And,
Which
and
you can
that's
say
where I
that,
want to
yeah.
be. I did everything I could to live a longer, healthier life so I could be here for my children and my children's children
And
and my
maybe
husband. Like,
if
I
something
want
does
that.
happen, you're in a stronger position to fight it.
That as well. And we're learning that
Because
with
I'm learning that
everything
like
happening now.
you don't know what's going to happen, and certainly a lot of us have had things that we've eaten, chemicals and things we've been exposed
Yeah.
to. I mean,
Yeah.
and you don't know. You don't know if you're going to end up in that position. But I will tell you what, and this is what I say all the time, I'm certainly not going down without a fight. The only way
Right.
to do that is to make the choices that I need to make to be the healthiest version of myself. I said
Yeah.
the same thing about COVID. In order for me, I knew that the chances of me getting it were high considering where we work.
Right.
And I said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I need to make sure I'm taking really good care of myself so that if
Exactly.
I do end up in the hospital, I have a shot.
Yeah. So it goes beyond the superficial, how I look and everything, which obviously I like that too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I want my body to be a place that thrives healthy. I just don't want to contribute to
Your
anything negative.
total health is your wealth.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
in your mind, you're not rich until it's all there. And
Yes.
that's how I feel. It's like, yes, it's one thing to look a certain way in certain clothes, but the real thing is like how you feel. How do
Yeah.
you feel when you wake up? Do you feel good?
But you
Do
know
you
what
like
else?
what you see in the mirror?
Yeah. But you
Can
know
you
what?
do the things you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what else? I feel like there's a sense of pride, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. There is a sense
Yeah.
of pride when you know that you're doing everything to make yourself better. Like you're
Yes.
doing that. You're doing that.
Yeah. No one's handing that to you. No one's creating that for you. You're out there and you're busting your buns and you're getting it done, hon.
Yeah. And that's a good feeling.
Powerful.
Yes.
It's just a powerful feeling, and also a prideful feeling and a fulfilling
Fulfilling.
thing.
Definitely.
It's very fulfilling to find a purpose beyond just your clothes, just eating good food, just
Yeah.
losing weight.
I
You know
wish
what I
for
mean?
everyone to find that
I think
moment.
that's really the
magical
you've said
moment.
this before, is like, it's like the holy trinity of wellness. It's like, once you have all those components, and I think the missing part, and something that we've definitely talked about and worked on, is in this even season, is like, what's your real why? What's not the why you tell everyone, not the why you tell yourself. Ask that question 3 more times. What is the actual why?
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, then you can start from there and figure out the life that you want to live, and move towards your goals, because
Yeah.
you know exactly why you want them. That's major.
It is. It is. I love that. I love what you did with your workers.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
And it
awesome.
proved it worked. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me.
No, it's definitely, and it's apparently
It's a
done in
thing.
business, but I didn't know that. It's done the 5 whys in business. I looked it up. I was like,
cool.
oh, it's a very common thing in business. Well, we should definitely be applying it to ourselves, because our business is important. Our business is ourselves, taking care of ourselves.
It's your number one business.
And it's your complete
The health and
investment.
wellness.
It's your investment. You're
You
going
only
to
get
get out
one
what you
life, one
invest.
body,
Right,
one
right.
chance at health.
Right, exactly. And that's why it's important for you to make that, you to create your lifestyle, you to create it, because that's the
environment,
investment
right.
you're making in yourself, and you will get a return on your investment, period. Whatever your investment is, that's where your return is going to be. I want a big return. So I'm making a big investment, which is, I think it's just extremely important, period. It's important.
We're
So,
important and we're worth it. And
yes,
it's worth finding and fighting for sure.
for sure, definitely. And so the moral of the story is don't be a copy Kathy.
Don't be a copycat. Find your own
Find
journey
your
and your own
own.
path.
Seek your own journey, nobody else's,
Yeah.
because we all have our own journey.
We do.
So we're going to thank y'all for joining us today, and we are going to look forward to seeing you all the next time.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. You can find and connect with us over on Instagram at More Than Just Keto. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on the fun. We'll see you next time.